When you think of a star, what do you picture? Probably a giant, blazing ball of fire, right? Unimaginable, blistering heat. Well, what if I told you that some of the closest star-like objects to us are actually colder than a winter day in Antarctica?
Yeah, this is the image we all have in our heads. It's what you see in every textbook, every sci-fi movie. I mean, our own sun cooks along at over 5,500 degrees Celsius, and it's not even a particularly hot star. So this idea of a star as a cosmic furnace is just baked into our thinking. It's the definition of hot. But, the universe is always full of surprises. Astronomers have started finding these objects that totally shatter that blazing sphere idea. These things form just like stars do, but they're so cold, they make us question the very boundary between what we call a star and what we call a planet. To really get a handle on these bizarre objects, we need to introduce a new category: failed stars. Now, I know that sounds pretty dramatic, but honestly, it's the perfect description. These are objects that had all the ambition, all the makings of a star, but just couldn't quite get there. So what exactly is a failed star? Well, its official name is a brown dwarf. It gets its start the same way any star does, from a giant, collapsing cloud of gas and dust. But it's missing the single most important ingredient: enough mass. Without that crushing gravitational pressure, it just can't kickstart the engine of nuclear fusion. So instead of shining for billions of years, it just sort of smolders, faintly glowing with the leftover heat from when it was born. And that difference is everything. A real star is a self-sustaining fusion reactor, a constant source of massive energy. A brown dwarf? It's more like a hot coal pulled from a fire. It starts out warm, but then over billions and billions of years, it just gets colder and colder and colder. So that brings us to the big question. Just how cold can these cosmic embers actually get? Let's take a little trip down the stellar thermometer, starting with the warmer ones and heading all the way down to the record breakers that have left astronomers just completely stunned. Okay, first stop, we've got an object named 2-mass J0415-0935. Its temperature is 750 degrees Celsius. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is still insanely hot by our standards. You definitely wouldn't want to visit. But for something that was trying to be a star, that is a colossal failure. On a cosmic scale, that's barely even warm.
But oh, we can go so much colder? Check this out. An object called WISE J0350-5658 has a surface temperature of only 100 degrees Celsius. That is literally the boiling point of water. Just try to wrap your head around that. A giant object, way more massive than Jupiter, just floating in space at the same temperature as a tea kettle. And then it gets even weirder. This one, WISE J1828 plus 2650, clocks in at a pleasant 25 degrees Celsius. Yep, that's about room temperature. This thing isn't just a failed star, it's a cosmic paradox that completely blurs the lines. It's a star-like object that, temperature-wise anyway, you could be next to without a special suit. Just wild. But the coldest one we've found so far is... well, it's just shocking. The current record holder is WISE 0855-0714. Its temperature drops as low as minus 48 degrees Celsius. That is colder than an average day in Antarctica. At this point, you can't even call it a failed star. It's a frozen world. So, when you find something this cold and this strange, it forces you to step back and ask a really basic question. If it's not hot and it's not really shining, can you even call it a star anymore? Or have we actually found something else entirely? And you know what makes our record holder, this frozen world, even more mind-blowing? It's practically our neighbor. It's just 7.2 light years away from us. I mean, in cosmic terms, that's right next door. It's been hiding in plain sight this whole time because it's just too cold and faint for us to have noticed until recently. Now, how a look at this comparison? On one side, we have our record-breaking brown dwarf. On the other, our very own Jupiter. Is either one running on nuclear fusion? Nope. Are their temperatures way down in the sub-zero planetary range? You bet. Do they both have atmospheres with water ice clouds? Yes. In almost every way that matters, this quote-unquote failed star looks and acts a whole lot more like a giant, lonely planet. And that right there is really the key lesson in all of this. We humans, we love to put things in neat little boxes, right? This is a star. This is a planet. But the universe, it couldn't care less about our boxes. It just operates on this beautiful, messy spectrum, creating these incredible objects that completely defy our simple labels and force us to think bigger.
So, okay, these things are fascinating cosmic oddballs for sure. But beyond that, why is it so important for us to find and study these cold, dark worlds? What are they really telling us about our galaxy and our place in it? Well, think about it for a second. These objects are incredibly dim and super hard to spot. The fact that we found one basically in our backyard suggests that there must be tons more of them out there. Astronomers now think our galaxy is probably swarming with these stealth worlds, a whole hidden population of objects just drifting silently in the dark between the stars. So let's just quickly recap what we've learned. First, that clean, sharp line we thought existed between a star and a planet, it's not really there. It's more of a blur. Second, there's likely a huge hidden population of these cold, dim worlds all around us, which changes how we think about our galaxy. And finally, it's just another reminder that the universe is always, always stranger and more amazing than we can possibly imagine. The discovery of these frozen, star-like worlds really opens up an exciting new mystery for us to solve. It just makes you wonder, if objects this bizarre can exist this close to us, what other secrets are still out there, waiting for us in the vast, quiet darkness of space? What else is hiding out there?